Hello, my name is Dana Majors, and today I would like to take a few minutes to inspire you, hopefully, to participate in the upcoming election in 2020. With the 2020 presidential election coming up, I would like to reflect on my first time as a voter. It was the month of November 2016. I had reached voting age, finally. I looked forward to it. I looked forward to the experience of expressing my political opinion and being a part of the decision in choosing a president. Knowing that many millennials do not vote, which deeply disappointed me. This included my friends and some family. While it is completely acceptable, I had trouble understanding their decision. The past election felt quite surreal, and since many of my friends did not vote, I asked them why, and I got a few different answers. The ones who were older than me said that they have a political opinion, but since they were far from home, it would require paperwork and they didn't have the means to do it. The ones my age simply claimed that their votes didn't matter, so they didn't see a point in voting, but they still held a passionate political opinion. While people just a few years younger than I, who were not of voting age yet, but also did not have opinions on politics, and some did not have state-issued identification. It was eye-opening to see just how many people believe that their vote doesn't matter. And the truth is, if too many people begin to believe this, it will become fact. If everyone votes, it will likely be more fair and even process. Only when many people vote the same way does it have any weight in the polls. While each individual vote is not counted literally, if the future of the country is not voting, there will be no voting in the future. Growing up each election year, I would hear stories of dead people voting, which essentially means that people would use a deceased person's ID to vote more than once. Our nation's trade generation has been guilty of this and have a certain drive for dominance and political influences that millennials simply do not possess. Why, you may ask? Because the economy, retirement, and Social Security. Previous generations have built a system that weighs in their favor. To put it simply, because they built it based upon their own needs. They seem to believe that the system is fine the way it is, even as times change and more people populate the earth than ever before, and our generation is not expected to receive Social Security benefits by the time we reach retirement age. Without concern for future generations, they continue to tell stories and boast that things were better back then, when they could buy a large house off of one person's salary without a college education, and mothers had the freedom and time to nurture their children. Things were good for them back then, and they built a system that would age along with them, knowing they would never have to worry about not being able to retire. They want what is good for now and worry about the future when it becomes present, and only seem to be concerned with the present when an issue involves them or when it finally becomes the next generation's problem. And the system will continue to be structured this way unless we begin to vote and think of ourselves as a generation instead of just individuals. The baby boomer generation have the upper hand on young voters simply because of quantity, and young people are beginning to believe their votes do not matter, which is just poisonous for our future. But those days are numbered. Young people are growing desperate with their desire for change in our nation's economy and government, but feel as though there is nothing they can contribute to it, which is of course untrue. However, this will certainly become reality if we do not exercise our democratic rights as voters. Our states, cities, and counties consistently hold surveys and elections to give citizens an opportunity to voice their opinions, but all too often, young people, myself included, and even the general population do not participate because there's such little coverage on these events. I would like to remind you that all the decision to vote is a choice. but it is also a heavy responsibility of every person of voting age. In not exercising our right to vote, we are handing our future to people who just want what is good for now and good for them, and not the future. We are the generation that cares for the next. We want to make the country better than it was, and change will only come if enough people want it to. I encourage you to stay politically informed, read before you vote, and vote with confidence. Do not vote for the same reasons as your friends or your family. Vote for you and vote for the future. Thank you.